And bring that question up under the meeting, if you would. John, bring that question up. Okay, I'm gonna call the Frankfurt Redevelopment Commission to order. Roll call, please.
Joe Palmer,
Present.
Chris Fodder,
Present.
John Virtue, Eric Woods, Jeremy Newcomer,
Present.
and Bud McQuaid.
I say okay. I'm here. Okay, did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the prior meeting.
Okay.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed or abstain? Okay. Public comment. Gentleman back there, do you have anything?
No, he's just here to visit.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, claims. I think they're being passed around, so.
Yeah, the only question I had, this move over outfitters, right? This is for outfitting the new police cars. Is that in the original bid that we'd approved?
I believe it, purchasing the cars and equipping them was in the original plans. Now, you know, the question never come up of was it gonna be done local or who, so. That could be a question for the police chief that we could ask him to be at the next meeting if we wanted.
I doubt that we have anybody local that could do that. But
I
don't know.
Not anymore.
We do not.
I mean, they used to have, I think Kerry did it. I think even, fire department did it for them at times, but that's no longer either because Jeff retired. Mary, you'd be better to inform us.
I think they're taking all the people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't surprise me. We had to use somebody out of town for that.
So the question is whether you want him at the next meeting, but we, still got the claim there.
I'm not sure we need it here.
Okay.
Some obviously has to be done.
So what, has everybody had a chance to look at the claims? There was a last one that was put in there. I gave the one to 40 minutes before the meeting. It was on KJG's structural engineering for Prairie Creek Park.
That's for the.
And that was, no, this was for, yes, for the building itself, the columns and stuff like that.
Right.
That report is done. However, it's pretty lengthy. I'm getting a hard copy and then I'm gonna walk with the contractors through for them to look at, fill within that guidelines over there, and then we'll be bringing prices back. So that'll probably be in the March meeting or somewhere in there. So the two that's not gonna be at the next meeting, Eric and Jeremy, I'll try to, if we get the appraisals in, I'll let you know what the construction is on it, so. So if there's no other questions on the claims, I'll entertain a motion.
Make the motion to approve the claims.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Accept claims as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Claims pass. New business. First thing on the agenda would probably be the election. How does the board want to proceed on that, or any volunteers? I was gonna stand up and say anybody that's interested, just stay seated, but.
Well, Eric has expressed interest in taking over vice president position, and I'll nominate him for that.
Okay. You want to start with president?
I'll start with president. I'll nominate Joe Palmer. I'll second.
And then we have the motion on vice president, right?
Yes. I'll second.
Okay. And we need a secretary. Even though Wanda does a great job for us, we need somebody that can have the ability to sign too, so. Is anybody volunteering for that?
I would volunteer for that if you need
That's
that.
good, because I was gonna nominate you.
Okay, there you were.
I nominate John Virtue as secretary.
Second.
Okay. You new guys are getting out of this, aren't you? Okay. So we'll just make that as motion for all three of those. With that, any questions, any changes, anybody else? Then as the motion is Joe Palmer's president, Eric Woods will be vice president, and John Virtue is secretary. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? I didn't figure anybody would oppose. Okay. That being said, I'd asked Eric a little bit ago for our work session. I would also like to invite Reedy Financial to come and be at our work session just in case. So they're on board with everything that we do. The work session that we're setting up is to look at a lot of different things, TIF districts, economic development. If we're going to purchase properties, guidelines, what we might want to do there, what we're going to do with the properties once we have the properties. Try to set up some kind of game plan for that. So we've got a lot on the agenda for the work session. I just figured that Rich Starkey, which is Barnes and Thornburg attorney that created part of this, will be there. Alicia Albertson, city attorney, will be there, and RRDC attorney. And then if I bring Reedy in, we've got all the powers there to be able to make questions and answers and stuff like that. So I just needed basically an okay to go ahead and invite Reedy because it's going to be a bill too. So
What's the date of the?
it's going to be 19th of March.
Can you
And
guys use your
it's probably
mics?
going to be in the conference room upstairs.
Put your mics down.
It will be most likely in the conference room upstairs. So we'll do it up there. It's easier to work and lay out papers and stuff like that. So, okay, if that's not a problem. The mayor has asked me to, under new business, bring up, and I know we did this a long time ago. When I say a long time ago, it's been at least several months back. Is the RDC interested in possibly acquiring the old police station? We're not talking figures right now, but we are talking of being able to possibly acquire that, where the problem is if the city sells it, they have no control what will happen to that building. If we end up with it, we can control who goes in it. So just kind of yay or nay of whether we want to go ahead and let her know that we are interested in taking it. The reason I said it was a few months back, I think Nikki was here. I don't remember who was on the board at that time, how much we changed. So
Yeah, it's been a while since
we discussed it.
about that.
Yes.
So Joe, I'd like
Ma'am.
to say that we did get the appraisal back. We only did from one appraisal and that was $290,000. Of course, that's different from what you could do than what the city can do, but yeah. because we have to
Yeah.
appraise, but-
And I mean, like I said, I'm not throwing any figures out there. We've discussed them just giving it to us. We've discussed legally and again, we give them $1 for it, it's one of those things, but it's going to be able to be controlled because it's going to be a decision between the Board of Works and the council before it would ever come back to us. So she wanted to know if we were interested. That's her way of having another avenue to deal with it. So, make sense? So what's the board's pleasure?
What kind of time frame do we need to make a decision on this?
Well, we just need to let her know so that she can do from her side what they're gonna do.
Is
We
that,
sent the appraisal, I think it was this past week.
Right.
And the Board of Works then can make a recommendation to the council. And then
do you feel that's in the city's, it's in the best interest if we do acquire it?
the only thing that I can say is that with the $290,000 appraisal, it's gonna be, I think, really hard for the city to get someone interested in it because it's probably gonna be $1 million and a half to renovate that building. Like he said, the advantage to that is if you take it over, is you could give that to someone at a cheaper amount of money, but I don't know what you're thinking, you know, and Eric, you're on the council, I don't know, it would come before you as well as a council member.
My only hesitation is that we simply, seems like we have no plan whatsoever to do in that area. And I know we've talked about that. And I agree with you, Mayor, that's the best way of working some kind of a holistic deal. If we're doing some revitalization of the area, we wouldn't be hampered with having to receive a certain amount of money for it from a buyer. That being said, I would ask we simply delay this discussion one more month till our work session when we got Burns and Thornburg and Reed
Yeah, that's-
here, just kind of add that. It's part of. the
Either
time.
way I went, I was gonna
agree
add
with
it
you.
into the work session, so didn't mean to cut you off.
I mean, that's, I think that's reasonable. And I think the majority of the council, once they would see that there's a plan moving forward, you know, for the final, I guess, disposition of that building, there probably wouldn't be an issue at all.
We have had one person interested in the building, but I don't know if the appraisal that high, you know, if they would be like, pay that amount, what's the renovation, so. And of course, we would have to advertise it if the city keeps it in place to do something like this, so. But we can hold off. I just wanted to bring it back to your attention since we actually had an appraisal.
Yeah, I would all, after discussion with that person too, I would say he probably would not be interested if it goes that way. So,
Is that on any kind of historical registry?
It is not to my knowledge.
I don't think so, but it could be. Depending on how they wanna go.
Yeah, it's not in our historic district and it is not on a registry as far as I know.
When that came up for discussion previously, I think the general consensus of those talking about it was if it goes on the registry, there becomes a lot of barriers, what you can do
You-
with it.
Or can't
Maybe
do.
we didn't want those barriers when we still thought we could control who goes in it. You know, you don't put an undesirable development in it when you don't know, have a good idea how it's gonna go. And that's been talked about, you know, people have talked about wanting it, but we didn't really trust that that would be in the best interest of the city.
Well, I can't go into details, not that I'm trying to hide, but it was a confidential thing, but the gentleman that we are talking, me and Judy, is, he's planning on investing, if he would be able to get it, he's planning on investing quite a bit of money into it. But, at this time, it's too premature to throw out what he's wanting to do, so, that would be something down the road that'll come out, so
And he has renovated another post office.
he has.
And
So he
something,
knows, right?
sorry, something else of interest is the city did offer it to the library first a couple times.
Yeah, a
And
couple times.
Yeah.
they did not want to take on the expense of it, so that had been offered, which at the time I thought that made the most sense. They did not want it.
Interesting.
Well, you
Well,
have
the
to-
cost is so extensive because of the way that building is to try to renovate it, so.
And then the cost to keep it up on the basis.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay, any questions? If you want to just, if it's okay, then we'll just, we'll do it on our work session and then also, try to give you the information towards the end of March. Does that work
Okay.
better?
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
So. Okay. Another thing under new business was the appraisals, I think I contacted everyone about the property over on East Washington. Not going into, again, the financial report because nothing's been done, but we did hire two appraisers for that property. That is currently going on. One of them is a local person. The other one is the same one that did the appraisal on the police station. And they have not. They're looking at about another 2 weeks out before they'll be able to get in there and do their appraisal. Talking with Alicia, and I know she's not here tonight, but she had a good excuse. She thinks it's a good idea because we're going to have a local and we got a out of town appraisers coming in. So this gives us a chance to look at how these appraisals go. And if the local is fairly close, the law allows us to use local people, which is cheaper than the commercial property appraiser. So that's the reason we went. I actually signed that paper Monday on the appraisal and sent it back to Alicia. I gave her the contact information for them to be able to get into the buildings. And so probably may have some of that information down the road by the work session, but I can't guarantee it. So, okay.
What is the address?
Or 408 East Washington.
Thanks.
That is actually a dual structural property. There's two buildings on that property. So he, we've had good talks and so we'll go from there and see where we're at, what happens. He's aware we have to do our appraisals on it. No matter what he asks us, then it comes back to our appraisals. So. Okay, any questions on that?
Anything on the building on North Main Street?
As of right now, no. Alicia is trying to get with both Rick Martin and Jeff Little. Jeff is handling the brother's kids on one side, and Rick's handling Barb's, which is the owner, on the other side. I'm gonna she's supposed to be making contact with them, but I'm thinking about making just a walk-in apart talk with them, since Don's no longer here and I don't know where it's gonna go from there. So I figured
This has been going on a long time.
it has. And actually,
And to the Board of Works, Alicia asked us to get permission, I don't know, there's 30 or 60 days, so we've got to be close to that.
Yeah.
Right now.
and I think our extension on the payment, we kind of left it as a 30-day deal. So, the mayor and I had this talk earlier about, we've been dealing with this for well over a year now and nothing seems to be getting anywhere. So, something's got to happen.
I agree.
Okay, any other new business anybody got? Old business is, I brought you up kind of on Prairie Creek Park because of the structural and engineer report. I can get you a copy of that and get it to everybody. I told you the plans is that I'm going to meet with probably camp hosts, walk them through it, let them look. I'm going to try to, and we know what it's like sometimes on the facade grants, getting a second contractor to come in and look, see what we can do. If you got any suggestions, please get them to me. I have no problem getting somebody else to try to put in a bid on this.
Do we know yet what needs to be done?
We do, I do, I should say. There's a lot of small things that needs to be fixed. One of the problems is they put in where they put the doors over, slide down doors there that come down over the kitchen areas. They never really put a good header above them. So that's kind of cracking up too there. Structural engineers wanting us to go in, drill some holes, fill it full of, I'll call it sludge, but it's some kind of liquid concrete that goes in there and it'll make that header as it cures out, it'll give it a good header through there. The column is still there. It's a problem, but it's not as extensive as fixing some of the block walls in there cracking and stuff like that. So it's just getting the contractors in there and letting them, because they can read the report, they can read what he's suggesting, but without eyes on it, it's hard to them to figure out how to put together a price, so that's going on. So I'll make sure that all comes back to you. I'll try to get a copy of the structural engineer report, and get it to you, and we'll go from there. I'm having, Kim had trouble. She was gonna make me a copy this week, and we ran into a snag there. It's not a snag, it's just my attachment I can't send my attachment to her to get it to do it. So Rob's got a copy of it upstairs, and she's gonna get with him and see if she can't get us copies. So that's all I've got on Prairie Creek Park. More information to come on it. I think last we talked about, the last thing on the old business that I have is we talked about the work session. Is there any questions that you needed added? Alicia's putting together a pretty good criteria of what we're going to talk about. Like I said, I'm going to have the lawyers there, but we need to be thinking of, if we acquire buildings, what we're going to do, lay out some kind of game plan, as Eric said. How we want to proceed on economic development. Are we looking at maybe expanding TIF district? There's several questions out there that we need to address. So if you've got anything, please let me know. At least give me a week before the meeting so we can get this all put together.
Before we have a work session, would it be worth you talking to some other redevelopment commissions that have maybe had acquired property and how they handled it?
We can do that.
Joe,
Ma'am?
I make a recommendation on that. Columbus, Indiana.
I think I knew somebody from there. Actually, I'm gonna be there tomorrow. Okay. Eric, you got anything you want to talk? Anybody? Got your campaign going? No. Okay, if there's nothing else, Mary, you got anything else? Okay. Be nice and call the meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody, for being here.
Joe,
I'll see you on the 19th.
We've got a resolution here. It says something.
Do we need to sign that?
Yes, I do. We needed to present that. That's my fault. Can I call the meeting back to order?
We didn't vote on it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. I'll call the meeting back then. We do have a resolution. 2601 would be the record on that. This is from Reedy.
I didn't get a copy of that.
He did.
This, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So you have it. Is that Joe's?
He pretty well explains everything, but, yeah, thanks, John, for catching that for me.
But are there any drastic revisions to what we've done in the past or?
No, I think the only thing this resolution is wrapped around is the 500,000 that we are budgeting for the land acquisition. And I think we talked about AIM. There is enough money in there to send the entire board if you wanted to go to AIM, which used to be IAC, which is the City and Towns Convention. There's enough money in there for the actually the fee and the hotel room in there for that. Did not, I think I put 5,000 in there. It's 1,000 per person.
Yeah, it's
Four.
budgeted for 5.
So, and then it gets down there, you know, if we want to go, then we've got the money there for it. So usually a lot of good knowledge. They discuss a lot of, Eric goes, I used to go quite a bit, but Eric knows they do TIF classes. They do RDC class type stuff. So, and then there's always the convention halls and the people you can talk to that gives you information too. So it's a good learning process.
You know when that is?
It's usually in the fall. I was gonna say, it's usually in the fall, September, October. I've even seen it pushed into November, but normally it's always in September, October, right in there. It's been in French Lick. It was in Fort Wayne. Last year was Fort Wayne, wasn't it? Or was it
Last year's like-
French Lick? Okay, maybe is it next year that they're, this year we're talking Fort Wayne?
Oh, I don't know, the year before.
I'd heard somewhere Fort Wayne mentioned, but
Okay, so we need a motion on this
yeah,
resolution?
this would be the resolution and then motion and we'll vote on it.
Yeah, I make a motion, we approve resolution 26-01.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept resolution 26-01. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Don't leave yet. Everybody needs to sign it.
How
So
many copies do we need?
just one, I believe, right? One. So. Down now.
So I'm no longer assigning as vice president, correct?
No, secretary should be on there, isn't it?
There's no secretary on here.
Just put it as a member then. And if you want, you can sign. If you want, just give it to them. Okay. Thanks for catching that.
No problem.
If there's nothing else, now I'll officially call the meeting adjourned.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll make it official that way.